Since it's gonna take a while to get the Alvarez Empire review down, I might as well get something out in the meantime while I work on that big project. So today we have a review of another anime regarded by many as one of the worst up there, the 1991 OVA Psychic Wars. Yeah, I seem to have this weird habit of trying to find what many regard as the worst and see for myself if they are worthy of the title on this show, don't I? So will Psychic Wars be the one to break this trend and be one of the worst anime I've ever seen? Let's find out. So our story begins in Osaka, Japan, where a mysterious voice warns us about an evil from 5,000 years ago coming to disrupt the peace and then bestows magical power to this guy in order to combat it. This guy is Ukiyo-Retsu, our main lead for this film. And what's the first thing we see him do? Remove a cancer from an elderly woman that's tied into the beast mentioned earlier. Well, I didn't expect to see this. A demon cancer. Huh. Anyways, after that operation, we get introduced to his love interest slash co-worker, Asahina, for a bit before he tells her they should go, only to cut to the next scene and she's nowhere to be found. Seriously, what the hell? So we then cut to him heading off to his shrine, but after he parks his car, he is then met by a leaf storm, and it's at this point that the animation staff seem to shit the bed here. Ignoring the stiff animation of the leaves heading towards him for a moment, other examples of the poor animation in the scene include stuff like either making the leaves transparent, or they make Retsu transparent for no goddamn reason. Also, the leaves seem to glitch in and out of existence here. Seriously, this is something I'd expect out of a cheap fan animation, not something made by a company and released for consumers to buy. I wish this was the only case of bad animation in this OVA, but unfortunately, it's not, so let's continue. So Retsu arrives at the shrine with a golden statue and then prays to it for a bit, while also getting a flashback to an earlier scene where he's talking to the cancer patient and notices that she resembles the statue somewhat before the area is hit by an earthquake and he decides to hug the statue, which begins to glow.
Don't worry, Statue-senpai, I'll protect you.
So a purple laser comes out of the sky and destroys the shrine, seemingly killing the doctor before the voice from the beginning calls out to him, and he survives, and also has solar power thanks to the voice and or the statue infusing it with it. I feel like there's a Superman joke I can make out of this, but screw it. Given how he fights demons later with his fist, I'm calling it bootleg Hamon for now. Also, the cancer patient died after he gets this power, basically stating that she and the statue's power are connected, or some crap like that. So he goes to pay its respects, with no one questioning how he can see without his glasses. Seriously, he's never brought up in the OVA after this. Then again, in this scene, no one seems to notice that the patient's hair is darker than before, so I guess the characters who work at this place don't really notice this kind of stuff. So after that scene, we see Retsu going through some of the patient's things before he gets a call and dashes off to the scene with super speed. I guess bootleg Hamon gives you increased speed on top of all the other crazy shit we'll soon see in this movie. Okay. Basically, the demon cancer, still can't get over that, basically broke free and attacked some of the staff before Super Retsu shows up and attacks the rejected Akira monster with a simple punch. But after that scene, we cut back to Retsu reading the book for a bit before we cut back to the fight, and then back to Retsu reading the book, and then the monster. Then we see Retsu and Asahina trying to tend to the injured staff member, and then the monster hits the wall and dissipates. Yeah, can I just say that the editing is a mess in this movie? Because holy shit, the way this scene is edited really hurts the pacing. Instead of something like showing the fight first, then the flashback, then the treatment, this scene tries to have all three at once, and given how they're all paced differently, since one's a slow exposition, one is a medium pace, and the other's a fast fight scene, the pacing in the scene ends up becoming a jumbled mess. This could have easily been fixed in the editing room, but they kept it as is, and that's a problem. And much like the animation, it's an issue that still shows up as the film goes on. Great. So after that mess is wrapped up, we cut to a rooftop where Retsu is talking with Asahina about the contents of the book, and he says that he will stop this demon in order to save the world. Okay, standard stuff in the action movies, whatever. So after that scene, these two share a moment, despite their lack of chemistry thus far, and then they go to some area to deal with the patient's remains. Then they come across the painting of a waterfall, and Retsu decides this is the time and place to flare with Asahina, while they're trying to deal with the remains of someone who sacrificed their life to give you this power. Smooth. So after they jump across this weird painting of a waterfall with rocks they can jump across, they arrive at a shrine to deal with the remains. And it's at this point we get introduced to the people who granted Retsu this power, known as the 5 holy women / priestesses sent from heaven. That's it. Because after that, Retsu and the girl leave, but are then attacked by this weird-ass creature. So Retsu fights the rejected Zelda enemy design, and we also find out that he can spawn weapons from the priestesses instead of relying on just the solar-powered fists. And they censor most of the impact these attacks leave, at least in this version I was watching. Why? I have no friggin' clue. It's even weirder when you consider that some fights later on have the impact of an attack on screen, while the others don't. So the monster dies, and then we immediately cut to Kyoto University. Yeah, have I mentioned the transitions in this shit kinda suck too? Where we get some exposition on some empire for a bit, and the people of the past, before the guy giving exposition asks the pictures of Retsu and Asahina if they want to stay longer to catch up on the past. Then Retsu decides to go up to the mountains to deal with the demons, I guess. We got to a flashback where Asahina wants to go with him, and then they kiss after he told her no. Then we cut back to the present day, then Asahina shows up. Then we cut back to the exposition scene on the Empire. Wait, what? Seriously, who the hell edited this shit? Ignoring the shit he used to transitions, what was the point of putting in this exposition scene after the previous scenes showed our two characters setting up the mountain? Hell, we don't even really get anything worthwhile out of this scene to begin with, and this scene ends the same way as the previous exposition scene, so not only does this screw up the pacing, but it also comes off as pointless in the long run. Great! Fantastic! G frickin' G! Also, minor note, why the hell does Retsu even have a gun in the first place? Ignoring his profession for a moment, not matching up with the whole outdoor/hunting for sport thing, did he just forget he has those powers the Holy Girls gave him, including the ability to spawn weapons from them? Seriously, why even bother giving him a dinky-ass rifle when he not only has solar punches, but also the ability to spawn weapons? It's like giving a Hamon Master from JoJo's an assault rifle, for fuck's sake! Screw it, Asahina gets kidnapped by something and Retsu chases after him, coming across the previously mentioned Empire, and unlike the other scenes with water in it, this one's actually animated! Fuck yeah! But then the temple starts to fall apart for some reason, and Retsu ends up in one of those visualizers you'd find on Windows Media Player for a bit, before being told by the 5 priestesses that he's being sent back in time to deal with the bad guys. So we get a fight scene with some brown filter on it, and we get the same problem as the previous fight scene, only showing the before and after effects of the attack, and not the scene where we see the attack connect with their body. In other words, it is implied that I am being hit, or stabbed, or killed. So yeah, Retsu's in the past and is assigned to kill the demons in the past, because if he doesn't, the humans will die, which will change the course of history, and blah blah fucking blah. Seriously? Time travel? Really? I'm not even going to bother pointing out the stupidity of their logic, since without the demons there would be no point to give the Retsu the power in the present, and would also change the course of history anyways, because that requires me to put in more effort than the film did with this concept. So Retsu kills the demons of the past and is transported into the present because of some magical gateway that exists in the bad guy's territory before the territory gets blown up. Yeah, good job changing the course of history, Retsu. Now the Empire you saw earlier couldn't exist in present day to teleport you into the past. Moron. And kills the big bad demon that was leading the bad guys into the present. 30 minutes into this 54-minute OVA, and most of the thread has already been dealt with. Great pacing. Yeah, you might have also noticed I'm not talking that much about these characters in this review, and that's because there isn't much character to them in the first place. Seriously, these guys are so flat you can mistake them for a painting, which is sad because a bunch of the scenes in this OVA are basically flat paintings. I get that action movies are more about the action and not characters, but even by action movie standards, these guys are flatter than other action movie characters like Ellen Ripley from Alien, Sarah Connor from Terminator, John from Die Hard, and I'm referring to these characters in just one of their installments from each of their series. So if you have your characters as flatter and interesting, why should I fucking care about these guys or them doing cool shit? The answer is, I don't care. And that's another issue this film has. Its characters are flat, and that hurts this film, especially during its serious moments. So yeah, despite killing the big bad demon, Retsu can't simply live a married life with his poorly developed love interest, because he still has to kill the big bad king of the demons. And the priestesses only tell him this after he screws Asahina and after the proposal. Yes, folks, he screws her and then proposes to her after that. Have I mentioned this romance is poorly written and paced? Whatever, they reveal that Asahina has the big bad demon king inside of her and she has a mortal life and that she fell in love with him and blah blah blah. Seriously, I want to care about this scene and feel bad for the two of them, but this movie barely even tried with these two in terms of both their characters or romance, so why the fuck should I care about this? So basically the two fight, the 5 holy women / priests show up and kill the king while Retsu kills his poorly developed love interest, except not really, because the priests reveal that she is alive and Retsu finds her in the credit sequence and the two hug after that. Congratulations, the two of you can now get married in barely developed bliss. Piss off. Psychic Wars is a mess. The animation is god-awful, the editing of this is so bad that it hurts the pacing, the story is flat and forgettable, the characters are incredibly flat and uninteresting, and even the action that movies in the action genre are best known for is incredibly poor, even for a short 90s film. It's also incredibly short, which further hurts the pacing. It didn't make me rage quit or make me want to scream at my monitor while watching this, but Psychic Wars is a really bad movie that not only fails as an OVA, but it also fails as an action movie, both animated and live action. Seriously, if you want a good action movie, pick up the ones I mentioned during the characters bit. Alien 1 and 2, Terminator 1 and 2, the Die Hard series, except for maybe the later ones, but whatever. Hell, if you only want to watch anime movies, there are good anime movies set in the same genre that came out either the same year as Psychic Wars or before that point that are much better than this crap. Akira, the 1983 Golgo 13 movie. Hell, even Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind / Warrior of the Wind is better than this. Is it the absolute worst? No. Is it worthy of the title as one of the worst? Yes! At least Mars the Destruction had me laughing at some of its bad/stupider moments. This film couldn't even have that going for it. So in terms of this find, it's worse than Mars the Destruction and much worse than Violence Check. Avoid this OVA. I wouldn't even recommend watching it to roof the hell out of it. It sucks that much. So that concludes this review. I'm the Mounty, and next time we meet, hopefully it'll be the fairy tale video. See you then.
Can't believe we found someone just lying in the ocean with nothing on them. They almost froze to death. You guys find anything else about this person?
Yeah, they had a glove attached to their hand and was wearing a white ring, but they didn't have any recollection of how they ended up in the water.
I see. Looks like a case of amnesia then. For now, keep an eye on this person. We're just nearing Egypt, so maybe we'll get more info there.
So the White Lantern has been discovered, but before I make my kill, I think it's time for you to kill the son of Vincent Grimm. Right, Toucher? I may not be able to go through the portal, but you can. Then I will get the location of Mark Sirium and take back what's rightfully mine. Then I can revive the original Guardian of the Black Lanterns and ruin this world.